Ever feel like life's throwing you impossible problems, yet they stay stuck in your mind, draining your energy, your motivation, and your focus? But what if I told you that those very problems could become the exact fuel you need to drive success, growth, and mental clarity? Stay with me, because what nobody has told you until now is how real transformation actually starts. And trust me, it's not what you think. Hi, I'm Fabe, a growth coach who blends personal development with real brain science. And today, I'm about to show you a concept that completely rewired my own life. Something called Mental Reframe, a powerful mindset hack. It literally turns adversity into your strongest fuel. You see, maybe right now you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck, maybe even anxious, drowning in a loop of stress or negative thinking, feeling like you're powerless against the problems life keeps throwing at you. But by the end of this video, you will not only understand how to shift that, but you'll have 3 neuroscience-based reframing techniques that you can start using today to regain control, rebuild your mental clarity, and transform any obstacle into unstoppable momentum, just like thousands of people have already done. I want to be fully transparent with you. There was a time when I was completely burned out, mentally exhausted, stressed about everything, trapped in negative thought loops that never seemed to stop. Every minor problem felt like a mountain, and I genuinely believed that something was broken inside me, until I discovered how to apply the neuroscience of learning about brain scans that showed how neuroplasticity works, and realizing that the problem wasn't me. It was the way my brain was processing problems. When I learned how to change that process, everything shifted. I rebuilt my focus, restored my discipline, reignited my motivation, and I promise you, if I could do it, so can you. So let's get clear on something. What exactly is mental reframing? It's the act of shifting your perception of a problem, so your brain stops activating the fear response and instead switches into growth mode. Science calls it cognitive reframing. And what it really does is activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and problem-solving, instead of the amygdala, which is where anxiety and fear live. If this is not some fluffy motivation hack, it's not positive thinking, it's not fake optimism, it's biology. And it works. But here's the thing most people miss, and this is where even the so-called mindset gurus get it wrong. Nobody teaches you the exact sequence. Your brain needs to truly flip problems into fuel while you're still overwhelmed. And without this sequence, most people stay stuck. And I'm going to give you that today. But stay with me, because it builds step by step. Picture this for a second. Imagine you're in the middle of a chaotic day at work. Maybe your inbox is full, deadlines are crashing down, and suddenly a notification pops up. We need to talk. Instantly, your heart races, your stomach drops, and your mind spirals, thinking of every worst-case scenario. But pause. Think about this for a moment. What if that message, instead of triggering fear and overwhelm, could become the exact spark that fuels your focus, your creativity, and your discipline? That is exactly what you're about to learn in technique number 1. Coming up shortly. Before we flip problems into fuel, can I ask you for a quick favor? If you're ready to completely transform the way your mind works, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on the bell, so you'll never miss these brain rewiring strategies that drop every single week. Alright, back to the real reason you're here. The very first secret to converting stress, anxiety, and overwhelm into laser focus isn't some meditation trick. It's something far more immediate and powerful. It starts with labeling your emotional state, but not just naming it like, I'm anxious. I'm going to show you the twist that actually rewires your brain instantly. And once you learn this, it will unlock the door to techniques 2 and 3, which stack on top of each other for even more powerful transformation. So stay locked in, because we're about to dive into technique number 1, the emotional labeled pivot. And right after that, you'll learn how to use gratitude, not in the cheesy way, but in a scientifically proven way, to literally reshape your neural pathways for resilience and power. Remember that stressful "we need to talk" message from earlier? Let's flip that right now using technique number 1. The emotional label pivot. Here's how it works. The moment you notice a negative emotion creeping in, whether it's overwhelm, frustration, stress, or fear, you pause and simply label it. Say it out loud or in your head. I'm feeling anxious. Now here's the pivot. Right after labeling it, immediately follow it with a reframe truth. Like, this means I care deeply about this project, or this stress is actually my brain preparing me to focus. Why does this work? Because the second you label an emotion, brain scans show that you activate the prefrontal cortex, which shifts energy away from the amygdala, the center of fear and emotional overwhelm, back into your logical, problem-solving brain. This process gives you mental space to choose how you react, instead of being hijacked by the automatic stress response. Let me give you a quick real-life example from my own experience. I was freaking out right before a major launch. I had deadlines, tech issues, and client pressure piling up. My heart was racing, hands shaking, and my mind was spiraling into panic mode. I caught it, paused, and said to myself, "This is anxiety." Then immediately pivoted. This is my body preparing for peak performance. This surge is energy. That one mental shift didn't remove the workload, but it transformed the way my brain processed it, from paralysis into focused action. But that's just a start. Technique number 2 builds on this. And honestly, most people overlook how insanely powerful this is. It's called the gratitude reboot, but not the fluffy Instagram version of gratitude. This is backed by neuroscience. When a problem feels like it's crushing you, stop and think of one small win. It could be a compliment someone gave you last week, a task you completed, or simply the fact that you woke up today with another shot at growth. This simple shift floods your brain with dopamine and serotonin, which are your natural motivation and mood-regulating chemicals. In fact, brain imaging shows that even a 15-second gratitude reflection boosts activity in the prefrontal cortex and reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. When I was going through one of the hardest seasons of my life, completely burned out and doubting everything, I made a rule every morning. Before checking my phone, I had to text one friend or mentor something positive, even if it was small. "Hey, I closed one coaching session yesterday," or "I'm grateful for that one client review." That one habit rewired my brain's reward system. And suddenly, my problems weren't suffocating me anymore. They became challenges I was energized to solve. But we're not done yet, because technique number 3 is where this gets even more powerful. And what I'm about to show you might just surprise you. So stay right here, because perspective shift is next, and it changes everything. All right, we've labeled the fear. We've rebooted with gratitude. Now get ready for the game changer. This is where we take everything you've learned and turn it into a mental weapon. Technique number 3 is called the perspective shift, and this one is massive. It's deceptively simple, but the results are life-changing. Here's how it works. Whenever you're hit with a problem, your brain instinctively asks, "Why is this happening to me?" That's the default question, designed for survival, but it keeps you trapped in victim mode, in stress, and in rumination. The shift is this. Replace that question with, "What is this teaching me?" Or even better, "How is this preparing me for the next level of my life?" You're not denying the problem. You're reframing your brain's operating system to search for opportunity, for meaning, and for growth. The shift is this. Replace that question with, "What is this teaching me?" Or even better, "How is this preparing me for the next level of my life?" You're not denying the problem. You're reframing your brain's operating system to search for opportunity, for meaning, and for growth. A Harvard study showed that people who consistently reframe stress as growth have lower cortisol and even better immune function. The effects are physiological, not just mental. Let me give you a personal example that proves this works in the real world. A few years ago, I went through a serious health scare. Doctors were running tests, and for weeks, I didn't know what was happening. The old me would have spiraled, panicked, stress, sleepless nights, all of it. But I asked myself, what is this teaching me? And the answer hit me hard. It was a wake-up call that my work-life balance was destroying me, that I was ignoring my body, my mental health, and my relationships. That one shift didn't make the problem disappear, but it transformed how I faced it. With clarity, strength, and action. And spoiler, I was fine. But I came out of that season with new boundaries, new priorities, and a completely different level of focus. This shift doesn't just help you cope, it rewires how you process every future challenge permanently. Now here's where things get even more exciting. We're not just talking about individual techniques anymore. We're going to combine them into a simple, repeatable daily routine that literally integrates them into your brain's operating system. It's called the Mindset Reframe routine, and it's what I personally use every single day to stay focused, resilient, and mentally unstoppable. Here's the routine, step by step. Step 1. Label pivot. Catch the emotion, name it, then pivot the meaning. Step 2. Gratitude reboot. Immediately search for one small win, no matter how tiny. Step 3. Perspective shift. Ask, what is this teaching me? Or how is this preparing me for the next level? Simple, powerful, and backed by neuroscience. Now let's actually practice this together, right now. Take a moment and think about one stressor that's been weighing on your mind. It could be something small, like an unfinished task, or something huge, a financial issue, a relationship problem, or uncertainty about your future. Got it. All right, step 1, label it. Say to yourself, I'm feeling stressed, anxious, frustrated, overwhelmed, whatever fits. Step 2, pivot the label. This means, I care about this, or this discomfort is my brain gearing up to solve it. Step 3, gratitude. Find one micro win right now. Maybe it's the fact that you showed up to watch this video, or that you've gotten through tough things before. And now, ask the perspective shift question. What is this teaching me? Sit with that for just a few seconds. Breathe into it and feel the mental shift happening right now in real time. I want to challenge you. Tonight, when something frustrates you, try this routine once, just once. Test it, and then drop a comment below telling me how it worked for you. I read every single one, but don't go anywhere yet, because next, we're going to talk about how to make this a permanent habit, how to literally hardwire this process into your brain. And I've got some powerful real-life examples from people who transformed their entire lives using this exact routine. So we've learned the tools, we've practiced the process, but now let's talk about how to make this stick. Because, let's be real, learning something is one thing, but living it is what actually changes your life. This is where habit stacking comes in. The fastest way to install the mental reframe routine into your daily life is by attaching it to something you already do. It could be brushing your teeth, making coffee, journaling, or even the moment you check your phone in the morning. Why? Because your brain loves patterns. The more often you fire certain neural pathways, the stronger they become. Neuroscience shows that synaptic connections strengthen with repetition and emotion, and weaken when unused. This means that if you practice the label pivot, gratitude reboot, and perspective shift consistently, it literally becomes your brain's new default setting. Not some hack, not some trick, a new operating system. I personally do this first thing in the morning, right after making coffee, before checking emails, before social media, before the noise of the world floods in. I sit for 2 to 3 minutes, scan for any tension, run through the steps, and by the time I'm done, my mind feels like a clean, focused machine. Problems don't hijack me anymore. They activate me. And this isn't just my story. Let me share a real-world case study from one of our viewers, Sarah. Sarah was a digital creator struggling with burnout for months. Her YouTube channel was stuck at 10,000 subscribers, no growth, constant overwhelm. She started doing this routine every morning. Label pivot, the fear of failure. Gratitude reboot for every small progress, and perspective shift, asking, what is this teaching me? 2 months later, minus 15,000 new subscribers, a full launch that sold out, and more importantly, peace of mind. She messaged me saying it wasn't just a growth. It was that I finally stopped being paralyzed by my own mind. Or take Alex, a college student who flunked 2 major exams. He spiraled. Self-doubt, anxiety, feeling like a failure. But when he started reframing, seeing the failure as feedback, finding gratitude for the lessons, asking, how is this preparing me for something greater? His focus snapped back. Next exam cycle, his grades bounced back, his confidence returned, and his mental health skyrocketed. This works. It's not hype. It's brain science, meeting habit design. So here's the reflection I want to leave you with. Think about this. What if, for the next 7 days, every single problem that hits you becomes your fuel? No more spiraling. No more getting stuck. No more wasted energy on stress that doesn't serve you. Imagine what would happen to your productivity, your focus, your growth, if problems weren't problems anymore, but catalysts. If this video shifted something inside you today, do me a favor. Smash the like button, comment below which technique you're committing to, and share this with someone who desperately needs to hear it. And hey, don't miss what's coming next, because in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this mental fuel and turn it into unstoppable habits using your own brain chemistry. The exact science of motivation, discipline, and momentum. Click right here, and I'll see you there. JustHabits. One habit can change everything.